Recording in progress.
There you go. The recording is also on. So, hi everyone, and welcome to the live session of the masterclass. Where in today's live session, we are going to understand a lot about prompt engineering, a fancy term that is used everywhere in the entire world for a professional who is able to communicate and talk to large language models. What do I mean by large language models? Large language models are basically platforms such as ChatGPT, Google Bard, Cloudy.ai, and many more. All right. So today we are going to understand with theory and practical knowledge also what exactly is prompt engineering, how to write different kinds of prompts, and a lot of different hacks and secrets that you will get to know about different kinds of prompts that you can use for your day-to-day work and in order to get a lot more out of ChatGPT. If you are ready for it, drop in a big yes in the Zoom chat, guys. How many of y'all are ready to learn all about it? Yeah, all good? Perfect. I'm going to reshare my entire screen and just disable the computer sound so you can basically have no lag in my voice. I hope this is better. Okay. Sure. Perfect. So everyone who has just joined in, quickly, if you want to download this entire PDF yourself and keep it side by side opened in front of you as well, the link is given to you on your screen. The same link is being copied and sent to you in the Zoom chat. So you can go ahead, click on the link given to you in the Zoom chat, one click, and you will be able to, within 5 seconds, download the same PDF. Okay. We are going to understand a lot about prompt engineering, which involves a lot about theory also. So today's session is not going to be 100% hands-on and practical because there is a lot to understand before you actually start writing your prompts. Okay. So we'll start from the very beginning, from the very scratch, and slowly and gradually, we will first come to basic prompts, intermediate level prompts, and then writing advanced prompts as well. The entire module of prompt engineering might be broken down into multiple live sessions depending on how much time we actually take to cover different topics. So we will go again step by step, very simply. All right. The Zoom chat will be closed when I'm explaining you all something because I want you all to pay attention on the screen. And then every now and then I will be asking you questions, whether you have understood everything or not, and also taking your queries. All right. On that note, let's get started with our learning. And as you can see right here, you have the prompt engineering guide that is given to you in the Zoom chat. Joined in late, no problem. Sent it to you once again. Okay. Now, let's understand everything about prompt engineering from scratch. How many of y'all do not know the meaning of prompt engineering? Drop in a yes in the chat. Okay, no problem. So, guys, let us first start off by understanding what is prompt engineering. Okay. We will go through everything step by step. I will be reading out a lot of material from the PDF. The PDF is curated for you to always have this as your reference when you are going back and learning or revising everything once again for yourself. So, what exactly is prompt engineering? I will first read out the definition on the screen also, and in simple terms, in our language, as you have already been a part of the masterclass, simplify it, easily understand it. Okay. So, prompt engineering is the process of designing and optimizing prompts. What are prompts? Prompts are basically inputs that you give to large language models. In the future, I will also refer to large language models as LLMs. All right. Now, large language models or LLMs are ChatGPT, Google Bard, etc. Whatever input you give, that is called prompt. So prompt engineering is the process of designing those inputs or prompts, optimizing them used in natural language processing, NLP models, or even LLMs, that is large language models like ChatGPT, chatbots, or virtual assistants. This involves crafting prompts that are clear, concise, and effective in eliciting the desired response. AKA, prompt engineering is like making an effective fishing lure. So I want to give this example of a very simple fishing lure, or think of it as a fishing bait, right? Now, if you want to catch fishes, right, you would be having a very good bait in order to lure them and then catch the fish. Similarly, when it comes to getting the best of the best answers from ChatGPT, you need to give the best of the best lures, which is nothing but your prompts. So prompt engineering is nothing but designing such prompts which can unlock 100% of the efficiency of ChatGPT and help you get the best of the best desired output or answers for yourself. As simple as that. All right. So this is what prompt engineering is by definition. As simple as that. The science and the art at the same time of designing and optimizing effective prompts. Now, when it comes to prompt engineering, there are three principles that we have to follow. The first one, we have to be very specific. The more criteria you give, the more focused the output is. For example, if you just write a one-line prompt or input in ChatGPT, you will get a generic response, which is exactly why a lot of people on today's, I would say, in today's world on the internet actually will tell you that ChatGPT will only give you generic answers. But that is not really the case. When you become more specific, it can give you answers that can actually replicate what a human would actually give you as well. So be very specific. That is the first principle of prompt engineering. Second, you will have to work in steps. Break tasks into small chunks. This returns better results just as it would with a human. To give you a very simple, straightforward example, if I have to assign you, let's say, 20 tasks, and I tell you all the 20 tasks together, would you be able to remember it all and actually give the best output in all of them? Actually, not. But if I give you one by one different tasks which are all connected to each other, for example, first go and make me a coffee, for example, then go ahead and do the laundry, for example, right? Then it will be a sequence that you follow which will help you optimize your entire process as well. So what you got to do is work in different steps. Instead of giving everything in one single prompt, you can also break it down into multiple different steps, which will ultimately help you optimize the answers that ChatGPT will give you and yield better, superior results as well. That is the second principle. And throughout the entire sessions as well, we will be applying these principles with the help of different prompts for our answers. Number three, iterate and improve. Rework the inputs and have ChatGPT improve on its own output. The best part about models like ChatGPT is if you give an input and you get an output, based on the output, you can actually modify your input in order to get better results. For example, if you start off with a one-line prompt and you get so and so result, which makes you understand that if I had included this particular phrase in my input, I would have gotten a better result. After looking at the output of ChatGPT, you can go back to your input and modify it as well, which is nothing but iterating and improving your prompts. So these three things are the principles of prompt engineering. As simple as that. All right. Guys, are we all clear with this? Are we all on the same page? Drop in a yes if everything is clear so far. Prompt engineering, three principles of prompt engineering. Make sense? Perfect. Sure. All right. Again, anyone who has just joined in, PDF is given to you in the Zoom chat. All right. Now, let us understand what actually makes a good prompt. Okay. Great prompts all come down to three things, out of which there is only one thing that we have in our control. So what are those three things? First of all, the data the model was trained on. So ChatGPT has been trained on data till September 2021. The data that it is trained on, if it is good, your output will also be good. If it is bad, the output will also be bad. But that is the first thing that makes or that gets you a great outcome. Second, its parameters. That is the way it is trained to use that data. The way it is trained to use that data. And third, good prompting. That is the input you give based on which you can get the desired output. Now, out of these three things, there are two things that OpenAI has already done, which we have no control over, which is one, the data the model was trained on and its parameters. The one thing that we have control on is your prompt, right? So here is what good prompting ultimately comes down to: the following points. The first one, clear and concise language that is direct and unambiguous. The more clear you are and the more concise you are, the better is going to be your output. And we are going to look at different kinds of prompts as well. We are going to implement this learning as well. Number two, the persona that you assign to ChatGPT, also known as who it will be acting as in your prompt. For example, if I, let's say, I'm a marketer and I want to make ChatGPT write a Facebook ad script for one of my clients, for example, right? Instead of saying, write a Facebook ad script for so and so, I can assign it a persona and start off by saying, ChatGPT, act as you are a marketing expert. You have a lot of information and knowledge and experience in the field of marketing, and using it, I want you to do the following. So and so, blah, 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 XYZ. When you assign that persona to ChatGPT, it gives you a much better output because then it is made to think in that manner. That's point number two. Point number three, the information and examples that you provide, aka your input. Now, let me give you an example for this as well. Guys, if I have to, with the same example, right? If I want to have a Facebook ad script written for my client, which is not generic, which has my sense of voice and tone in the writing as well. If that is the case, I have two options. Option number one, I simply say, write a Facebook ad script for so and so. Versus option two, write a Facebook ad script for so and so based on the following example 1, 2, and 3. And then I supply it three different scripts that I have personally written for it to understand the tone and the language I use for my script to enact it better. What do you think will get me a more look, I would say a desired answer? Option number one or option number two? Can you let me know in the Zoom chat, guys? Would that be option one or two? Two, right? Makes sense? Simple to understand? So that is called providing information and examples. What I just told you is example. Speaking about information, we will look at it in the next few slides as well as to how you can supply it information, not just examples, information to get better results. Next point, a specific task that you are requesting ChatGPT to complete, that is also your output or your desired requirement or desired output as well. So basically, whatever you want from ChatGPT as the output, you should be clearly mentioning that. For example, if you want to, in the same example, write a Facebook ad script for so-and-so client in the so-and-so industry, the output that you are having is that Facebook ad script, which has to be clearly mentioned for ChatGPT to provide you the same. And finally, refinement as needed once you receive your first response. The best part about ChatGPT is it is not a one-off instance where you enter something, get the output, and that's it, game over. No, it remembers your entire history. For example, if I write something right now in ChatGPT and keep on, after getting the output, keep on adding more inputs, it will remember what was done earlier and we can always refer to it. So what we would have to do is refine our entire response. Once we get that from ChatGPT, we can continuously modify it till we are satisfied with our answer. This is what makes a good prompt. So what are the steps that we have to follow in order to write effective prompts? First of all, define the goal or problem that you are having. All right. Clearly articulate what you want ChatGPT to help you with and what kind of response you are looking for, as we discussed earlier. Second, very important, use relevant keywords and phrases. Input the most useful industry and topic related terms into the prompt. For example, let's say with the same example of a Facebook ad script, let's say I want to have a Facebook ad script for a workshop that I'm conducting on how to build dashboards using Power BI. Power BI is a software by Microsoft which will allow you to make a dashboard, obviously, right? You know about that. Now I have two options. Option 1, I simply say, write me a Facebook ad script for a workshop on how to build dashboards. Versus, write me a Facebook ad script on how to build dashboards using Microsoft Power BI, which is regarded as the world's #1 business intelligence tool. Here, what am I doing? I'm giving it two important industry related words, business intelligence and more important, Power BI as well. So the script that it will generate will be based on the functions of Power BI, not Data Studio, not Tableau, not Amazon QuickSight, nothing like that. About Power BI, specifically focused on business intelligence. So this is what is called using relevant keywords and phrases. Number 3, obviously write the entire prompt. And then 4, test, evaluate, and modify. That is, iterate the entire prompt to get your desired output. So these are the 4 steps that you have to follow in order to write your prompt. Now, with that being said, let's now understand with examples. Now is when we dive deep into some basic prompts and then ultimately move up our advanced levels as well. Now we have to understand something called as prompt priming. So what exactly is prompt priming? Priming refers to the practice of providing some initial input to the model before generating a response. As I told you earlier, you will have to, in order to have an effective prompt, also try to provide information and example with your prompt, correct? Prompt priming is exactly that. It is the practice of you providing some initial output to the model before generating a response. The initial output is intended to guide the model towards generating a response that is more relevant and coherent with the user's intended output. So if you want ChatGPT to also replicate your tone of writing, if you also want to give more examples to get a very specific desired answer, you need to give examples, you need to give information as well. You can input entire pieces of text, and I will show you how to do that as well. While writing my ad scripts, I have given it more than 10 different scripts for it to understand and give me more output based on that. All right. So you can input entire pieces of text you have written for ChatGPT to be trained on. For example, all right, let's look at example number 1. If you write your prompt without priming, it would be something like this. Where should I go on my next vacation? That's all you have written to ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT has no additional information or examples of your previous travel history. So it can suggest you any places. It can suggest you places with mountains also. It can suggest you places with beaches also. It can suggest you China also, Japan also, USA also, and Russia also. It can be anything, right? Now, that is the problem. It does not know anything about you. There is no extra information or example or anything like that. But instead of putting that very simple prompt, if we add with priming, that is, if we add priming here in the entire prompt and give it some information. For example, I'd like to go on a trip with my wife and kids. So now it will suggest you places which are family friendly. The location should be tropical. So now it will suggest you places based on that. We'd love to be close to the beach. So now we are providing again multiple inputs for ChatGPT to work with. I'd like the flight to be one direct flight to and from Lax, and I have a travel budget of 5,000. So it will suggest you places which can obviously be completed with your wife and your kids in that budget. Where should I go on my next vacation? How many of you all agree that with priming, you would definitely get a better result because now ChatGPT knows what you require? Yes, makes sense? Perfect. All right. Wonderful. Chalo. So, on that note, guys, right here, with priming, the output would be one suggestion for your tropical family vacation. Do you see this? How it is incorporating the inputs that we have given? Within a 5,000 budget, could be Cancun, Mexico. Direct flights from lakhs are available, and you can find affordable all-inclusive packages with prices starting at around 1,000 per person for a week-long stay. Popular family activities in Cancun include snorkeling, visiting ancient ruins, and exploring local beaches and restaurants. So this is how you can actually use priming in your prompt. To give you one more example, have a look at this. Guys, here in example number 2, without priming, we would write, please create 3 potential titles for my new online course that teaches how to use AI. So if I'm creating a course on how to use AI, I can use this prompt. But even better, if I go ahead and help ChatGPT understand the way I normally like my course titles by giving it a few examples, such as, please create 3 potential titles for my new online course that teaches how to use AI. The first line remains the same. Here is an example of my recent course titles. So now what am I doing? I'm giving it examples. First example was what? Giving information, right? Here I didn't say I went to Bahamas last month, so tell me something similar to that. No. Here it was more about information. Here it is more about examples. Okay. So here I can say example of my recent title, please emulate the styling and written format of these. And then I give it, as you can see, 2 examples. When I do that, the output would be much more tailored according to what I would desire. And I would definitely tell you it is 100 times going to be better than the first option. So this is what prompt priming is, giving examples or information or both together in order to get a much better desired output. Are we all clear with what priming is? Drop in a yes if prompt priming is absolutely clear, guys. Make sense? Perfect. All right. Awesome. Chalo. On that note, guys, now let's start off with some simple prompt starters. Before we move on to that, I have actually right here created a 30 concise and simple prompt list aimed at the following: inspiring you and simply, quickly offering you value. Whether you are experiencing a writer's block or seeking to establish a new daily routine or need insights on a new business venture, no matter who you are, these prompts will enable ChatGPT to jumpstart your next steps. These are not advanced prompts that will give you the exact answer that you are looking for, because it is impossible to give you prompts which are made for everyone, which are exactly what everyone requires together. That's not possible. But these are going to give you a head start or a jump start in ChatGPT for your next steps as well. These include, for example, define the following term and give a metaphor. Elaborate on the purpose of so and so forth. Create a template for whatever you require. Construct an outline for this podcast. Help me create a budget plan for whatever your next trip is. Suggest some creative writing prompts to get me started. Brainstorm 10 ideas for improving the writing in this transcript, and then you can paste the entire transcript. Draft a well thought out chapter list for a book. List some recipes using these ingredients. So if you're someone who is living alone or with your partner and you're finding, okay, these are the ingredients, I'm going to make something. Well, ChatGPT is at your rescue or to your rescue, right? Formulate a catalog of subjects related to so on and so forth. Create a lesson plan for, compose 5 headlines for, sum up the following book in a tweet. So you're basically summarizing an entire book in just a tweet, any book that is launched before September 21. All right. Design a comprehensive social media content strategy for whatever the case is. Compose an introductory outreach email. So you can make it write emails as well. Recommend some metaphors, analogies, synonyms for so on and so forth. Create a witty response to this message. Transform this title into an intriguing hook. Translate this into French. Compose a polite decline response to this email, which is something that a lot of people, including me, struggle with, right? Create an opening scene for a video showcasing. Suggest ways to improve my resume. Explain the concept of Can you recommend some online courses or books to improve XYZ? Some effective strategies for, please provide some tips for starting my business venture or anything like that, or a project or an assignment that you are working on. Suggest some healthy meal options. Help me create a daily schedule, which I have personally used to also build my schedule. And explain the basics of, and then a topic that you are not very good at, provide some guidance on. So these are the 30 different prompts, very simple prompts that you can use today itself, right now itself, to get started with ChatGPT. Guys, out of these 30 prompts, can you tell me in the Zoom chat how many of you all saw at least 5 prompts that you could use right now itself for anything that you're working on or in your life, personal, professional, both of them? Drop in a yes. 5 minimum? Okay, chalo, awesome. Perfect. More than 20? Wonderful. More than 5? Perfect. Chalo. All right, awesome. So guys, you do have the PDF. You can go ahead and use these prompts as well. As simple as copying something from here and pasting it into ChatGPT. You don't have the entire PDF. I'm sending it once again in the Zoom chat. You can take it from there. All right. Now, let's look at some practical everyday prompts that we can use. These prompts are simple in nature. As I told you, we start from the ground root level, that is the basics, and then ultimately we'll move on to advanced prompts as well. Let's start off with practical everyday prompts. So, what are they, right? Let's start off with the first one, which is brainstorming new ideas. The formula is very simple. I'm looking to explore subject. Anything that is in bold here is basically what you can replace in order to get your desired output. I'm looking to explore subject in a format. Do you have any suggestions on topics I can cover? For example, I'm interested in creating an Instagram page that covers travel. What ideas do you have on topics I could include, such as budget-friendly destinations and hidden gems to visit? Guys, can someone tell me what exactly is this part called? Let's break it down. What exactly is this part called? The Zoom chat is open. Priming? Absolutely. Guys, remember what is prompt priming? Giving either examples, information, or both. Correct? So here what we have done, we have given information. Yes? Perfect. All right. Priming. Yes. So that is how it works. I'm working on a newsletter that focuses on technology. So as you can see, here we have the subject, which is newsletter. In what for? Sorry, subject is technology. The format here is newsletter. Can you recommend some topics that would be engaging for my audience, such as latest gadgets and software updates? Here I'm giving an example as well. So right here, as you can see, we are writing an entire prompt for a subject of tech for the format newsletter. It could be a newsletter, it could be, let's say, an email sequence, a WhatsApp campaign, it could be anything, or social media post, anything, right? And can you recommend topics that would be engaging for my audience? I'm using ChatGPT for this purpose. Not just brainstorming new ideas, you can actually use ChatGPT to also generate your copies. For example, I'm interested in type of text that highlights the benefit of subject. Please write hashtag. Your hashtag is nothing but a number. So it can be 4, 7, 10, whatever the case is. Please write X number for me on the following subject. For example, I need an email campaign, which is what type of text that showcases the features of my new product. Now, here you can also describe your product more in detail. Can you write one for me on the following subject: ease of use and affordability of the product? Second, I'm interested in a website page. That is the type of text. As you can see, it can be email, website page, it could be a WhatsApp campaign, anything that outlines the benefits of my coaching services. Could you write one for me on the personalized approach and proven results of my coaching program? So let's go ahead and see what answer this entire prompt will give us. I can simply copy this up from here and I'll put it into ChatGPT, just like this. All right, let's remove some space. There you go. And now I will hit enter. As you can see, I'm using ChatGPT 3.5, not the 4 version. Even though I have the plus version, 3.5 is free for everyone. So you can simply go ahead, click on the send message button, and there you go. You have an entire website page right here available to you. All of this. You have different sections. Starting, you have your introduction, the power of personalization. Why is it given to you? Because as you can see, we told it to highlight personalized approach and proven results of my coaching program. For example, right here you have proven results, an entire paragraph on that, the power of personalization, an entire section on that. Then you have again proven results transforming dreams into reality. What sets us apart? Embark on your journey today. So this is how you can use a single prompt in order to get started with whatever purpose you are having or whatever work you are doing it as. All right. Now, guys, let's have a look at something which I personally use a lot, which is client and customer support email. So, for example, if you want to draft SOPs or systems or statement of procedures, SOPs basically, for your company or for your department, and let's say you're working in the CRM department, where you can use the following prompt for your work. Let's say I want to enter the following in ChatGPT. I want you to act as a customer support assistant. Before we move forward, can someone tell me what are we doing here in the Zoom chat? What is this entire highlighted part doing? Drop in the answer in the Zoom chat. Perfect. Role, persona, absolutely. Perfect. Persona, yes. Persona. Persona. Role play, persona, yes. Persona. Perfect. Wonderful. So that is what we are doing here. I want you to act as a customer support assistant, which is customer persona, who is characteristic. So right here, we can enter any characteristic, who is a deep thinker, who is analytical, who is emotional, anything. How would you respond to the following text as a representative of our whatever type of company you are having? For example, I want you to act as a customer support assistant who is analytical. How would you respond as a representative of our tech startup? So the answer will be based on that. To a customer who has experienced a bug while using our software. So instead of drafting the entire email a response from you, you can actually put it into ChatGPT and get your desired output within no time and create your SOPs much faster. Second example, I want you to act as a customer support assistant who embodies confidence and empathy. How would you assist a customer with a billing issue as a representative of our financial services company? So now I can simply copy this. As you can see, I have assigned a role. I have also mentioned the characteristic, actually two of them, not even one. We have also mentioned right here the type of, or how would I put it, the text which I want to respond to, and the type of company that we are having. So I'll simply copy this, all right, and go to ChatGPT and put this in a new chat. There you go. All right. Then I will simply hit enter. And as you can see, you have one sec. Yeah, there you go. Starting from the very first word itself. Of course, I'd be more than happy to assist you with your billing issue. Thank you for reaching out to us. I understand that billing concerns can be frustrating, but please know that I'm here to resolve this matter for you with confidence and empathy. To get started, could you please provide me with your account information or any relevant details about the billing concern? So it is asking proper, direct, specific questions. This will help me accurately identify the issue and find a swift solution for you. If you have any reference number or specific invoices related to the problem, please share those as well. Once I have the information, I'll carefully review your account, yevo, all of that. Your satisfaction is our priority. If there are any additional concerns that you would like me to share, please feel free to also let me know. Thank you for your patience understanding all of this. How many of y'all agree this is the exact level of professional writing that you would also expect from any other copywriter for your company, for your SOPs? Drop in a yes. Yes? So here, that is what makes the difference. We have actually gone ahead and put in a characteristic, put in the type of response, given it a persona, and also mentioned the type of company. These four things will separate a normal generic response to a response like this. All right. Perfect. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Wonderful. All right. Voice is very low. My voice is the loudest that it can be. Again, you can go and increase your laptop volume from your side. Thank you. Now, coming to the next set of prompts. Guys, the next one is generate analogies. For example, what is the formula that we are going to use here? And this is again something that I would personally use a lot to give a lot of my students different kinds of examples. In case I don't have a very easy, relatable, understandable example, I will go to ChatGPT and use it for that purpose. For example, I'm trying to better understand the concept of so and so. Please help me understand this concept by creating a practical and easy to understand analogy. Analogy is basically an example or something which I can compare it to side by side and understand it. For example, let's go with the second one, right? First one is fairly simple. You can read it out as well. Second one, I'm trying to better understand the concept of search engine optimization. Please help me better understand this concept by creating a practical and easy to understand analogy. Now, I will simply copy this and let's see what ChatGPT will respond for the same. So I'll go here, put in the entire prompt and simply hit enter. When I do that, have a look at this. Sure, imagine your website is like a library filled with lot of amazing books. Now, think of search engine optimization as the process of organizing your library in a way that makes it super easy for people to find the books they are looking for. That actually is also a process called as indexation, and that's a part of search engine optimization. Everyone who knows about SEO, would this be a very straightforward analogy to give to someone to help them understand a very simplified version of SEO? Drop in a yes if that's the case. Okay, wonderful. Perfect. There you go. Wonderful. Guys, now everyone who does not know SEO, did this help you understand with an example what it could be? Arranging everything in an order which can help anyone, a person, easily find the books they are looking for in a library bookshelf. Yeah, makes sense? So that is how it works, right? As you can see, this is what we are doing. Simple as that. All right. Perfect. So this is what you can do in order to generate easy to understand examples. Very, very important for anyone who is presenting their data in a meeting or even a professor or a teacher working with students, where you have to simplify something, especially if it is technical in nature. So if you're someone who is in and out of meetings with your superiors and it just becomes too technical for them at some point, you can use different kinds of analogies to basically simplify things for them. All right. Then, as we have seen earlier, bulk copy creation. Please come up with number of content, 7, 10, 15, whatever the case is. And then type of content, email, newsletter, social media post, etc. For a certain platform, Facebook, Meta, basically, or Google or website, anything. That includes the following references. For example, please come up with 8 email newsletters for my investment site that includes industry reports and data analysis. Please come up with 4 video scripts for a marketing YouTube channel. Notice how I'm not simply saying YouTube channel, I'm saying marketing YouTube channel. So again, what am I doing here? Can someone tell me what is this word marketing doing here? The Zoom chat is open. No, it's not priming. No, guys, it's not priming. Information, no. Guys, let's scroll up. Okay, have a look at this. You remember this? Drop in a yes if now it makes sense. Yes? Look at the screen, I have highlighted something. Wonderful. So this is what we are doing, right? We are adding a keyword. If I tell, write a video script for, let's say, finance, it will basically go ahead and give me something about finance. If you are putting in marketing, the keyword here is marketing. It will make sure it gives you whatever the output is according to marketing. That is why we use the word marketing there. All right. So that is there. That includes expert opinions and insights on digital marketing trends. As simple as that. So you can again go ahead, copy this and try it out for yourself. For now, let's understand something which is called effective prompt revisions. In contrast to conventional search engine, where we just enter something and we get the result. The next time, if I want to make a search, for example, let's say, I'll put this, all right? Guys, let's say I am in London, for example, and I'm looking for Indian places to have my lunch. So I'll go ahead and on Google, I will simply put in, right? What are the best Indian food restaurants in London, UK? And I will get a list of restaurants or different eateries as well. Now, within one of them, let's say I see two options, paneer tikka masala and paneer butter masala. And I want to find out in this restaurant, which is called XYZ restaurant, what is a better option based on customer review. Again, I will have to Google that, but again, I will have to include, for example, I can't simply ask what is better, paneer butter masala or paneer tikka masala. I will have to enter the entire thing in this particular XYZ restaurant in London, in UK. Why? Because the last part, why is it important? Because Google will not have any memory of what was the previous search. Every search for it is a new one. It's not a sequence that it is following, which means if I'm getting or if I'm trying to refer to something from my previous search, I can't do that. I have to again enter that entire thing in my second search. That is what Google does or any other conventional search engine does. Does that make sense? Drop in a yes in the chat if it made sense to you, what Google is doing as a search engine. Yeah, fair enough. Chalo, perfect. Now, ChatGPT does not do that. ChatGPT possesses a unique memory capacity. It effectively retains information conveyed during prior conversations, thereby enabling future prompts to be informed by the complete conversation history. For example, I will go here, right? Open up a new chat and I will say, write a code in Python to print hello world. And I hit enter. There you go. Now, instead of, let's say I want to have one more code where I want the text Jatan instead of world. I don't have to again go and write a code in Python to print hello world. Sorry, write a code in Python to print hello Jatan. All I have to do is go here and say, change the code to replace the word world with Jatan. And if I hit enter, you see this? It will still work. I haven't mentioned, oh, I need a Python code, I need to print it, nothing. Why? Because it is a memory. It has the memory right here. It's in the same chat window, correct? So as long as you are in the same chat window, do not expect it to do this if you go to the next window, obviously, right? But if you're in the same chat window, it will keep on remembering what is happening earlier in the history. And here is a prime example for this. For everyone who wasn't clear about it earlier, now are you clear between the difference between what ChatGPT does and what Google does? Yes? Fair enough? Simple? Perfect. All right. Awesome. So guys, now someone asking what is Python? Google it. All right. It's a coding language. Now, coming back to this, right? This feature is particularly useful as it allows ChatGPT to understand context and sublets by the accumulation of knowledge in one chain of dialogue. For example, have a look at this. Now put the single most important keywords in bold formatting. For example, I go here in ChatGPT and write here. Do you see this? I have this entire result. Let's go with this. Let's go with this, right? Here we have everything the way it is normally, right? We have the entire text. We get the output. No problem at all. But now I want the single most important words in bold formatting. So my customer can focus on those words even from a distance, right? I don't have to go and modify my prompt and then in this prompt, write whatever the output is, important words you highlight it with bold formatting. No, I can go here at the end of it, simply put it and hit enter. There you go. Now you see this same result, but now you have bold keywords. This is what is called prompt revision. Okay. Similarly, you can see once you get the answer, organize the answer by date, location, price, etc. Come up with more novel and uncommon results. For example, give me 5 course titles for a course on AI. Once I get the answer, come up with more uncommon results or titles for this course. And it will give you things which it not normally uh, gives anyone or is used in today's world. As simple as that. Something which is uncommon, not mainstream. Please add the appropriate emoticons to the following text. All right. So, for example, I can copy this and I can say right here, please add the appropriate emojis to the text above. And I hit enter. All right. And as you can see, it will generate emoticons wherever it is required. You see this? It is smart enough to give you a document emoticon when you have invoices here. When you have empathy here, you have a smiling emoticon. Right here, you have confusion, misunderstanding. I will be sure to explain it in a clear manner. You see this? You have a magnifying glass here, right? I'm here to assist you. You have this icon here, right? You see all of this, how easy it is? This is what is called prompt revision. So I've given you a bunch of almost 20 different prompt revisions that you can actually go ahead and use for your prompts as well, ready-made and done for you. All right. Guys, before we move forward with prompt framework, are we all clear with what is prompt revision? Yes, in the chat, if we are all clear with what it is, how it can be used for your output. Make sense? Perfect. Chalo. All right. Awesome. Guys, now let's go ahead and understand about focused prompt framework. Presented below are a set of highly effective prompt frameworks that are aimed at enhancing focus and precision in generating outputs. By providing a specific framework, and here is where we dive deep into the intermediate and advanced prompts of ChatGPT. By providing a specific framework, these prompts enable ChatGPT to produce more detailed, repeatable, and accurate responses. Because you might have, if you're already using ChatGPT, you might have already seen this, where the prompt that you use today, if you try to write a similar prompt tomorrow, the answer is very different than what you would want. First day, you might get the right answer. Second day, you might not. Why is that the case? Because there might not be a framework that you are following. So right here, we will understand framework for effective prompt writing. And the first one is called short prompting. What exactly is short prompting? Well, there are three ways in which you can write it: zero shot, one shot, and few shot. And it's very simple. It's not a new concept, it is just a new term given to a concept that you are familiar with. So, in the prompt engineering world, short prompting is the following. Okay. The three variations of short prompting entail giving ChatGPT complete autonomy to generate any response with zero shot prompting, to placing parameters and giving reference data with one or few shot prompting. For example, there are three things: zero shot, one shot, and few shot. It takes us back to the concept of prompt priming. Remember prompt priming? Information, examples, correct? Zero shot is where we give complete autonomy to ChatGPT to do whatever the heck it wants. One shot is where we provide one piece of data or one piece of guideline in order to get a customized response specific or tailor made to what we desire. And the third one is called few shot, where we give more than one piece of information or guideline. That's just what zero shot, one shot, and few shot is all about. For example, zero shot: no previous data or guideline given before completing the request. Giving an example, right here you have zero shot prompt. Write a YouTube script for my tech review channel. That's it. There is no example, no nothing given to it. So you have complete autonomy. You do whatever you want. Now, how many of y'all think zero shot is useless? Drop in a yes in the chat. How many of y'all think zero shot is useless? Can I tell you a use case of zero shot? So here's the thing, guys. Most of y'all think it is useless. Let me tell you where it can actually be useful. Sure, it is in most cases not the best prompt to go for. But what if this is the thing? Let's say I'm taking the example of an ad script, right? Because that's the most recent problem that I faced in ChatGPT, which zero shot was able to solve. Normally, what I used to do was give ChatGPT a total of anywhere between 5 to 10 scripts that I had for my ads and asked it to write more ads based on that. Now, my marketing team told me one day that the scripts that we have right now are very similar to each other. And we need to have different kinds of hooks, different kinds of angles, which are not related to what we currently have at all. Now, that is a very valid thing to have, right? Because if my current ad scripts are not performing in the most optimal manner, I would want to experiment with things which I haven't tried out earlier. That is where I would go ahead and use something called as zero shot prompting, where I will not provide any of my tone, any of my writing style, nothing. To see new ideas being generated, to see completely different output than what I have currently. So depending on your use case, zero shot, one shot, and few shot prompting, all three of them are very useful. Are we clear with this example why zero shot is not useless? It actually has some utility. Drop in a yes if that made sense to you. Yeah? Perfect. Chalo. All right. So guys, that is how you can also use zero shot. Now, what is one shot? As I told you, one piece of data or guideline given before completing request. Few shot is multiple pieces of data or guideline given before completing request. For example, one shot is using this example one as reference. And below we will give example one. Write a YouTube script for my tech review channel. So here we will give one example. Using these example 1, 2, 3 as reference. Then we will go ahead and expand the following. Write a 5-minute YouTube script on the latest iPhone camera specifications for my tech review channel. Start with a 10-second hook and notate a photo for each main point. So this is how you can use zero shot, one shot, and few shot. All three of them are very, very useful. All right. Now, Let's go ahead and look at the next type of prompting, which is going to be the last one for today. I know a lot of information has been passed on from me to you in this session. We have, as you can see, a lot of different types of prompts, which will be much more advanced in nature as well, which we will have a look at in the next few sessions and continue our AI journey and use AI for multiple different purposes. But for today, let's go ahead and have a look at one more prompt style, which is going to be chain of thought prompting. And I personally found this to be very, very useful. So, what is chain of thought prompting? Guys, a lot of times we normally get answers from Google, but we do not know how it came up with that answer, right? For example, if I ask Google, what is the weight of an oxygen molecule? Google will give me the answer. But I don't know how Google came up with the answer. What was the logical thought process? What are the different steps involved in getting the answer? It's the same as in school or college or university days. In mathematical problems, you had steps ka marks, right? You had marks for steps. You could not directly just get the final answer and tell, oh, here is the answer. There were marks for different steps which made you arrive to that answer, right? Why? Because the steps were important to understand if you had understood that particular problem and you had gotten the answer to that problem logically or not. That is why there were marks for steps, correct? Similarly, if you want to know the thought process behind a particular answer, this prompt is very helpful. For example, this prompt is a technique to guide ChatGPT to explain its answers in a step-by-step format of its reasoning process. This technique helps ensure that the model's answers are transparent. That is one thing which is less important, but it's there. And easy to understand, which is actually more important. Okay, transparent answers, sure, but I want to understand how you came up with the answer. I want to become more smart using that, right? Making its explanation more useful for educational or explanatory purposes as well. For example, prompt formula, a question, and here are the next five magical words. Let's think step by step. For example, what is the diameter of the sun? Let's think step by step. I'll go ahead and copy this. Okay. Have a look at this. I'll open up a new window, put it there, and let's say I remove the last part. I don't have it. I hit enter. What will I have? I will have the answer. The diameter of the sun is approximately 1.3 million kilometers, right? But now, if I go here and if I click on this edit button, you see this small pencil icon, click on it, go here and paste this part. Let's think step by step. And I want you to do it as well. If you're on your laptop, you have ChatGPT logged in, opened up, go ahead, do it yourself as well. It's not rocket science, very, very simple. All right, you have the PDF, copy it or write it yourself. And click on save and submit. Now, what will happen? ChatGPT's answer will get regenerated, modified. So the moment I click on save, have a look at this. Now it is helping you understand how it is coming up with that answer. For example, step one, gather information. So right here, the diameter of the sun is a well-known astronomical measurement. As of my last update in September 21, the diameter is blah, blah, blah. This value can be considered accurate for most general purposes. Step 2. Since the diameter of the sun is often given in kilometers, we will use kilometers as our base unit for this calculation. However, if you prefer miles, then it will convert it to miles. Then, next, here you will be having your calculation. The calculation is straightforward. The diameter of the sun is its width from one side to the other, passing through its center. Therefore, we can use the value we gathered in step one, which is this. And that's it. That's how you get the answer. Similarly, let's say I go ahead and open up the next question, which is, what is the weight of an oxygen molecule? I'll copy this, paste it, and hit enter. When I do that, I do get the answer, which is 32 atomic mass units, or AMU. But now, if I go here and simply modify it and say, let's think step by step. And I simply click on save and submit. Do you see this? Now it will start off from atomic mass of oxygen. Then it will move on to the molecular formula of oxygen molecule, which is O2. Then it will add atomic mass, convert AMU to grams, and then get you the answer as well. How many of y'all have not used ChatGPT for this purpose and think this is going to be very, very helpful for your work to understand the way it thinks and get the answer step by step for you to become smarter? Make sense? Perfect. Yes, in the chat if you have not used it and you think this is going to be very helpful. Okay? Perfect. So guys, this is what is called chain of thought prompting. I'm sure you must have understood why it is called chain of thought, because chain of thought is nothing but the sequence in which you think with the first step, then the related second step, then so forth, and so on and so forth, right? So this is called chain of prompting. This is all about what we have learned today. I'm going to summarize it for now. And before I do that, let me also tell you that we are also going to learn about tabular format prompting, ask before answer prompting, fill in the blank prompting, perspective prompting, constructive critic, comparative prompting, reverse prompting. Use along with this a lot general prompt frameworks, everything. RGC prompting you will be having. I want you to act as prompting. And then we will obviously move on to how to use AI tools, DALI 2, generative AI, and much more as well. All right. But before we move on to all of that, let me quickly summarize everything that we have learned. All right. So, guys, we have started off by understanding, first of all, what is prompt engineering, the three principles of prompt engineering, which is being specific, working in steps, iterating, and improving our prompts as well. What actually makes a very good prompt? The steps to create a prompt. Step number 1, 2, 3, 4, all of it mentioned in your notes. Notes is given to you in the Zoom chat. And then we moved on to prompt priming, which is information and examples supplied as our input to get a better output. Then we have looked at multiple examples of it. We have then moved on to simple prompt starters that you can use, a total of 30 of them that you can actually use in your day-to-day work from today itself. All of this also given to you in your notes. Then we move on to practical everyday prompts where we looked at how to use ChatGPT and prompt writing for brainstorming new ideas. For copy generation, looked at both examples for it. Client and customer support email where we use ChatGPT and also got our output live right now. Generating analogies with the help of ChatGPT's prompt by understanding how search engine is just like a library having a lot of books and a person arranging it to make it easier for anyone to find the desired book. That is what we have learned. Bulk copy creation. Then we moved on to effective prompt revisions. We understood what exactly is prompt revision. How is it different from a search engine like Google? Where in ChatGPT, we have a history which is there in memory. In Google or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or any other search engine, it is not. We have looked at different kinds of prompt revisions. We have tried out how to make our keywords bold, how to also add emoticons to our output wherever it is required with the knowledge of ChatGPT. Then we moved on to focused prompt frameworks where we dived a little bit more deep into intermediate level prompts, where we have looked at what is short prompting. There are three types of shots: zero shot, one shot, and few shot prompting. And then we finally have understood chain of thought prompting, where we have used ChatGPT to understand the thought process and the step-by-step process of any answer that it gives, which is something that you can't do on Google or you might have not done so far in ChatGPT itself as well. All right. So that is what we have learned so far. Again, I do not want you all to have a lot of information given together. And that's exactly why we will learn a lot more different prompt frameworks in the next session. Guys, before we exit the call, can you let me know in the Zoom chat, were the last 60 minutes very, very helpful for you to understand the fundamentals of prompt engineering and get started? Drop in a yes in the chat if that was very, very helpful to understand the important concepts and how to use it as well. Absolutely so. Yes, sir, no doubt. Chalo. They said surely will. Perfect. Wonderful. Absolutely, yes. Perfect, guys. Thank you so much. On that note, I have shared the link, all right, in the Zoom chat as well. Earlier, I'm sending it to you once again in the Zoom chat. You can go ahead, click on the link, download the PDF, or you can see the link on my screen as well. The recording of the entire session will be uploaded by tomorrow along with the material, that is the PDF link in your previous weekly Q&A courses or previous weekly Q&A recordings course in your account. So in your account, you have a separate module which is called previous weekly Q&A recordings. In the month of September, because today is the 1st of September, the first lesson in September 2023 section within that course will be of today's session. So by tomorrow, it will be uploaded. So you can go ahead, look at it as well, and constantly revise all the different prompts that you are having, along with reading everything that we are going to learn in the next session from the PDF. On that note, guys, thank you so much for attending, and I will see you in the next live session happening next week for our continued prompt engineering learning as well as a part of the masterclass. Thank you so much. You all can go ahead, exit the call, drop in done in the chat if you have downloaded the PDF. Anyone who hasn't downloaded the PDF, let me know. I will send it once again. I've sent it like 7 times throughout the entire session. Okay, perfect. Done. All right, awesome. On that note, guys, thank you so much. I'll be exiting the call and I will be seeing you all next week as well. Bye bye.